Why IT lobbied for cloud QMS was an article that ran this week. Yeah, it did just run.
It ran, I think, yesterday. It ran this week. Okay.
Yeah, right. Written by Frank Defesche. And here's what it's about. Until recently, most quality departments were unable to select their own quality management system software. I mean, from hardware sizing to system requirements, database types to installation, only IT had the expertise to procure and maintain on-premise QMS software, according to Frank Defesche, who's the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Viva Systems, and we'll have him on in just a second. At many companies, this resulted in quality simply receiving an IT-selected solution that maybe didn't fully meet its needs. And not that the quality department didn't have input, but in the end, it's the IT guys who have more pull in the selection since they're the ones who are going to have to implement it. Yeah. So yeah, we'll take your suggestions, but in the end, we're going to work with what we think we can use, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so cloud QMS, here's the word cloud again, putting your QMS on the cloud kind of upended this arrangement. Now quality can take the driver's seat, and guess what? The IT guys, hey, they're perfectly fine with that. And to tell us why they're perfectly fine with that, we are joined by Frank Defesche, who is coming to us via Skype. Hi, Frank.
Derek, good to see you again. How are you guys?
All right.
How you doing, Frank?
Okay, so your article starts by laying out the role shift that the cloud QMS has caused within companies. What was the dynamic like between IT and quality before the cloud, and what have you seen since the rise of the cloud?
Sure. Well, before cloud, the members of a quality department or manufacturing stakeholders were, as you said, sitting in the back seat. And subject to whatever tools IT gave them, as IT had to drive everything. And that's the way it needed to be before cloud. Traditional software, or arthritic software as I prefer to call it, as it's both old and painful, requires IT to drive because the software needs to be installed on servers, databases need to be set up, the application needs to be tested against different browsers, and managed by the technical skills that are in an IT organization. Software delivery has processes, similar to quality processes and manufacturing processes. And with that traditional software, the skills and proper procedures were all coming from IT. Now with cloud, all that technical burden is transferred over to the software vendor. So your IT department doesn't have to deal with it and can focus on supporting the business and adding real value. Now this empowers the quality team to jump out of that back seat and grab the wheel. And it's not just a change of ownership, but it also allows the quality organization to make better and quicker decisions, which results in a QMS or document control application that's more valuable to your organization. And it may not be obvious at first, but this actually fosters a stronger relationship between the quality department and IT working together.
So Frank, can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because what is it about the cloud that makes this type of software more accessible maybe for non-technical users?
Sure. Well, in addition to the technical aspects, mostly shifting to the software provider of the cloud application, you can assess or achieve really those benefits in three areas. One is just general usability. Your IT department doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Cloud software is something that stays current and puts an emphasis on usability that people are familiar with. In our personal lives, we use websites like Google or Amazon. Those are both cloud applications. And the way Amazon looked 20 years ago is very different than it looks today. But nobody had to make changes in their computer to do that. It just automatically happens. It's easier to use while having more capabilities. And did you have to take training as it improved? No, because it's easy to use. So the point is, as trends change, cloud software keeps pace. This is important because not everyone goes into a QMS system every day. So ease of use is key to adoption, and adoption gives your company visibility to information to make better and quicker decision. The second one is flexibility. Cloud software is modified through point-and-click configuration, not development, not code. I've been in the software industry for over 20 years, and I can't code at all. But I can point and I can click. And so the skills needed to manage and modify a QMS application can be done by people beyond the IT organization. And this is important because the world around us is constantly changing. From new ISO standards to new best practices, cloud software gives you the control and the flexibility to stay ahead and keep up. And the final piece is really about access. With cloud applications, all you need is an internet browser and a connection. And you can access it from any system, any device, any browser, anywhere in the world without setting up anything like VPNs and things like that. And that's not only for your internal employees, but it also can be extended to external suppliers, contract manufacturers, and in many cases with our customers, even auditors.
Now, Frank, the majority of your article was a Q&A with the head of IT at New Chapter, which is a company, whose colleague is going to be actually in our upcoming webinar along with yourself. How does New Chapter's QMS experience, procurement experience, compare to other companies that you've seen?
Procurement experience. Those are wonderful things to talk about. Well, the procurement process varies from company to company. Every company is unique. But New Chapters, it's also a smaller organization, much smaller than its parent company, Procter & Gamble, who also uses Viva Vault Quality One. So we've had an experience with both large and small companies, and smaller companies typically means less red tape and less rubber stamps. But that said, with cloud, the procurement process and the respective due diligence is exponentially easier for all sizes of company and doesn't require heavy lifting from IT. Cloud is compatible with everything, and cloud software isn't tethered to a potential hornet's nest of additional software, hardware, and network purchases a company may need to make, like they used to with traditional non-cloud software. So this makes the procurement process less complex. And all your company pays for is ongoing licensing and initial setup. There's no hardware to buy, there's no maintenance to pay for, there's no IT ongoing burden. It's just simpler, easier, and better. But it also gives your organization greater cost predictability. And that is important to procurement, that's important to IT, because it's just a subscription, no other cost. It makes the total cost of ownership analysis that's very common in procurement exercises, very, very simple. And that just speeds up the decision process, puts more of the decision process on the business or the quality team, so then we can get that done and focus on execution. A procurement process should just not take longer than the actual implementation of your new quality system.
Right, and in the couple of minutes that we have left here, what kinds of business improvements are cloud QMS applications enabling now that quality is, quote, in the driver's seat?
Well, quality can now make the decision with IT supporting it. And that power transcends to better solutions. It's just like in the 1990s. We saw this with sales organizations. They got the decision-making power, and as a result, there was incredible advancements in things like customer relationship management software, making sales teams do more with less, an incredible amount of innovation. Well, now cloud is making it quality's turn for better tools and higher innovation. So earlier I mentioned being able to bring your suppliers and contract manufacturers into your QMS system. They can complete the results of an investigation, sign off directly with a 21 CFR Part 11 signature, or upload a batch file directly in your company's QMS, rather than doing business over email and phone or fax just for good measure, which all those things, that breaks the chain of custody of what happened, and it clouds the accountability. So cloud eliminates the blind spots in your audit trail and puts more accountability in your suppliers so you can focus on your internal processes and your supply chain. There's also speed. Quality teams apply both a reactive and a proactive strategy. With the quality team manning the wheel, they can get access to reports without calling IT because they can simply point and click and create them themselves. They can also make approval workflow changes that is needed due to, a regulatory change, an ISO standard change, without submitting it to the IT team and then waiting 6 months for that change to be made. I think in the years to come, we're going to see a massive amount of innovation in quality software, and that will result in quality process improvements, all made possible by eliminating the technical hurdles that come with traditional older software.
Okay, well, if our viewers are interested in learning more about this topic, that's Quality Digest, and Viva are joining forces to present a webinar called Increase Your Quality Efficiency and Compliance with Cloud QMS. The webinar happens next week on Thursday, October 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Frank Defesche is your presenter, and I will host. And also we're going to have a guest from
Chapter 1?
New Chapter,
sorry.
from New Chapter as well. So keep an eye on your email inbox for an invitation and register for the event if you haven't already. Well, Frank Defesche, Senior Vice President of Viva, thanks for joining us this morning.
It's my pleasure. You guys have a great day.
We'll see you next week. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Take
So
care.
Bye. Bye. Good stuff. But yeah, register for that webinar. It's going to be a good one. We've had a couple of webinars with Viva earlier in the year.
Yep.
Always good experience with Viva. Okay.